reborn.
with the power of 7 tails.
But in the heart of Ikoyi, shadows still rise. They want her power, her soul, her destiny.
All her life, Amara ran from the truth.
I didn't choose this, but I'll finish it.
The Seven-Tailed Princess, Part 1, Chapter 1, A Storm of Secrets. Rain hammered the streets of Lagos like an insistent drum, turning the asphalt into rivers of shimmering reflections. Neon lights from the high-rise buildings flickered against the puddles, giving the city a surreal, almost magical glow. Amid the chaos of honking cars and shouting street vendors, Amara hurried through the crowd, her hood pulled tight over her head. Her heart wasn't racing from the storm, it was the dream she had woken from, the one she had been having every night for the past week. In it, 7 glowing tails emerged from her back, wrapping around her like fiery serpents. 7 voices whispered secrets she didn't understand, secrets that felt older than time itself. Amara tightened her coat, pressing her hands against the curve of her lower back. The tails, though hidden under her jacket, still throbbed with life. She had learned to conceal them, but sometimes, when her emotions surged, they stirred in ways she could barely control. If anyone ever saw them, she shivered at the thought. The storm seemed to follow her home, and by the time she reached her apartment in Victoria Island, she was drenched. She unlocked the door, stepping inside, only to freeze at a knock echoing across the small space. "Who?" she began, but a voice cut through the storm. "Amara," said a man's calm, urgent voice. "We need to talk. It's about your tails." Chapter 2, The Visitor. Standing in her doorway was Professor Ikenna, a tall man with silver-streaked hair and piercing eyes that seemed to look right through her. His coat was soaked from the rain, and his expression was serious. "My tails?" asked Amara, heart pounding. She instinctively moved her jacket tighter around her lower back. I think you've made a mistake, Professor. I'm not anyone special." "You are," he said firmly. "You just haven't realized it yet." They moved inside, shutting the door against the storm. Professor Ikenna pulled out a small leather-bound notebook. "You are the last of the 7-tailed lineage," he said. "The legends are true. Your tails are not just appendages. They are powerful manifestations of your soul. Each has a unique ability, and there are people who would kill to control them." Amara laughed nervously, but it came out shakily. "People? You mean, like, thieves?" "No," he said, leaning forward. "People who would bring chaos to worlds if they could harness your power. The Shadow Council." Amara's stomach churned. She glanced at her reflection in the window. 7 faintly glowing outlines pressed against her jacket, barely visible. They flickered like flames. She had always tried to hide them, but even she couldn't deny their presence anymore. "Why me?" "Because you were born for this, because the balance depends on you," he replied. Chapter 3, First Signs. That night, Amara couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the 7 tails glowing behind her in the dark, each a different color: red, blue, gold, green, silver, purple, and white. They shimmered, vibrating with energy whenever her heart raced. She paced her small apartment, wrapping her arms around herself to hide them, but no matter how she tried, they pulsed beneath her clothes, longing for release. A sudden noise outside made her freeze. A shadow moved unnaturally in the hallway. Amara instinctively ducked behind the couch. Her tails reacted instantly, coiling around her, lifting slightly as if ready to defend her. She had never had to use them in real life. Seeing them move like that in the dim light terrified her. The figure didn't approach, and eventually the sound faded. Amara exhaled, her hands trembling. She realized two things. Her tails were becoming harder to hide, and someone, or something, was watching her. Chapter 4. The Professor's Warning. The next morning, Professor Ikenna arrived at her apartment again, carrying a small satchel filled with books and strange artifacts. He said, "We need to train you. You can't hide forever, Amara. The Shadow Council is aware of you. They're patient, but ruthless. One mistake, and..." He didn't finish the sentence. Amara's 7 tails twitched under her jacket. "Train me? With these?" She gestured to her back. "Yes," he said. "Each tail represents a unique power. Red for strength, blue for healing, gold for insight, green for nature, silver for speed, purple for mind influence, and white for balance. You need to control them, or they'll control you." Amara swallowed hard. She wanted to deny it, but deep down she knew he was telling the truth. She had felt the energy flowing through her in moments of fear and anger, and she had always sensed the pull, the feeling that she was different. Chapter 5. The Shadow's First Strike. It happened just 3 days later. Amara walked down a busy street in Lagos, her jacket tightly wrapped around her lower back. She could feel her tail stirring, agitated, almost warning her. Then, without warning, a man in a black coat lunged at her. Before she could scream, the tails erupted from her back, glowing brightly. They lashed out in arcs, forcing the man back. Passers-by screamed and ran, but Amara froze, terrified of what she had done. Professor Ikenna appeared as if from nowhere, pulling her to safety. "This is exactly what I warned you about," he said grimly. "They're testing you. They know you exist, and now they've seen the tails." Amara pressed her palms to her back. The tails shrank, coiling back under her jacket. She couldn't afford to be exposed. Not to strangers, not to the city, not yet. Chapter 6. Hidden Allies. Back at a hidden safe house in Ikoyi, Amara met Nyoka, a mysterious guide who could shift between human and serpent form. "You have powers," Nyoka hissed softly, "and they are visible to those who know how to look. You must learn to control them, not hide them. But hiding is wise, for now." Amara's 7 tails twitched, glowing faintly, even under the dim light. She nodded, knowing her life had changed forever. That night, she looked at her reflection. 7 tails glowing softly coiled behind her. She pressed her palms to them, whispering, "I will control you. I will protect everyone. I won't let anyone use me for their own ends." Chapter 7. Cliffhanger. As the city slept, a dark figure watched from a rooftop. A deep, chilling voice carried on the wind. "The 7-tailed princess. Your time is coming." Amara felt a chill run down her spine. She pressed her palms to her back, her tails curling defensively. This was only the beginning.
The 7-Tailed Princess, Part 2. Chapter 8. Training Begins. Amara awoke to the faint light of dawn filtering through the curtains of the Ikoyi safe house. Her tails stirred beneath the sheets, glowing softly in their 7 colors. She had dreamed again. Visions of swirling energy, battles she didn't understand, and whispers of her ancestors warning her of a coming storm. Nyoka was already waiting in the small training room, her human form sleek and alert. "Time to start," she said, her voice low but commanding. "You cannot hide from your destiny forever." Amara followed reluctantly. She felt clumsy, unsure how to make her tails obey. Nyoka raised her hand, and instantly, 7 glowing shapes appeared in the air around Amara, mirroring each tail. Red first. Strength. Focus. Push your energy outward. Feel it in your core. Amara gritted her teeth, concentrating. One by one, her tails responded. The red tail flicked outward like a whip, snapping through the air. She winced at the force it generated. Objects in the room rattled, but Nyoka nodded approvingly. "Good," she said. "Now the blue tail. Healing. Let it flow through your hands." Amara extended her hand, feeling warmth radiate through her fingertips. A small cut on her palm healed instantly, leaving no mark. The realization hit her. This was no ordinary power. Hours passed, each tail tested, each color a challenge. By sunset, Amara was exhausted, sweat dripping down her forehead, but a flicker of confidence had begun to grow inside her. She could feel the bond forming, not just between her and her tails, but with herself. Chapter 9. Unseen Threats. Night fell, and the city of Lagos seemed peaceful, but Amara knew better. From the shadows, eyes watched her every move. The Shadow Council had noted her recent display of power. Inside her room, her tails glowed faintly under her blanket. She had learned to control them to some degree, but the energy pulsing through her body was undeniable. She wondered how many more attempts the council would make to capture her before she could truly defend herself. Suddenly, a faint tapping sound came from the window. Amara froze, her tails curling instinctively. A small black drone hovered just outside, projecting a holographic message. "You cannot hide forever, princess." Before she could react, the drone shot upward and vanished into the night sky. Amara's heart raced. They were already here. They were already watching. Chapter 10. Secrets of the Lineage. The next morning, Professor Ikenna arrived carrying an ancient-looking scroll tied with crimson ribbon. "This," he said, unrolling the parchment carefully, "is your lineage. The 7-tailed bloodline has existed for centuries, hidden in plain sight. Your ancestors protected the balance of the world, and now it falls to you." Amara studied the intricate drawings. Each tale, each ancestor, each battle was illustrated in exquisite detail. But there was something else, a warning written in a language she instantly understood. When the darkness rises, the 7-tailed princess must not falter. Her heart must guide her, or the tails will become her undoing. She pressed her palms to her back, feeling the tails pulse with energy. A chill ran through her. She had always feared losing control, but now she understood the stakes. It wasn't just her life, it was the balance of the world. Chapter 11. First Mission. Weeks passed. Amara's training intensified. She could now extend her tails, manipulate their energy, and even sense emotions around her. Nyoka insisted she learn stealth and strategy, while Professor Ikenna taught her about the Shadow Council. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, they received a message. Disturbance at the Lagos docks. Shadow Council agents spotted. Intervention required. Amara's heart raced. Her first real mission. She followed Nyoka silently through the city streets, blending into the shadows. Her tails remained hidden, coiled beneath her coat, but the energy within them throbbed with anticipation. At the docks, crates had been overturned, and strange black-cloaked figures moved with unnatural precision. Amara felt her tails respond, twitching with warning. She took a deep breath, steadying herself. "This is it," Nyoka whispered. "Remember your training. Trust your tails and trust yourself." Amara nodded, gripping her coat tightly. She could feel the 7 colors steering: red, blue, gold, green, silver, purple, and white, all waiting for her command. She stepped into the moonlight. The battle had begun. Chapter 12, Cliffhanger. From a rooftop across the docks, a dark figure observed. "You are growing stronger, but strength alone will not save you. The 7-tailed princess, your trials have only begun." Amara felt the chill of destiny wrap around her like a cloak. She pressed her palms to her back, and her tails flared in response, lighting the night in 7 radiant colors. The storm of secrets was far from over, and the Shadow Council was closer than ever.
The 7-tailed princess.
She was chosen by the sea, but cursed by men.
The 7-tailed princess. Chapter 13. Battle at the docks. The air around the Lagos docks crackled with tension. Crates lay shattered, the scent of sea salt mixing with smoke. Amara stood in the moonlight, her 7 tails glowing faintly beneath her coat. From the shadows, dark cloaked figures emerged. Agents of the Shadow Council. Their leader stepped forward, his eyes burning red. So, the princess finally reveals herself. Amara's pulse quickened. Nyoka's voice rang in her mind. "Remember your training. Control the energy. Don't let it control you." The first agent launched wielding blades that shimmered with black fire. Instinctively, Amara's red tail lashed out, deflecting the strike with immense strength. Another came from behind, but her silver tail flickered with light, boosting her speed. Energy danced across the docks. Blue for healing, green for protection, purple for mind defense. In the chaos, her gold tail shimmered, revealing flashes of the enemy's movement before they even struck. By the time the last agent fell, Amara was breathing hard, her tails fading back beneath her coat. But victory came with a chill. One figure still watched her from afar, the same dark presence that had spoken before. "You are strong, but every power has a price." The figure vanished into mist. Chapter 14. The Shadow Within. Back at the Ikoyi safe house, Amara couldn't rest. Her dreams were darker. Visions of fire, destruction, and herself standing over a broken city. Professor Ikenna and Nyoka noticed her silence. "Something is changing," Ikenna said. "The tails are reacting to something inside you." Amara pressed her palms against her back. The tails pulsed, restless, almost alive. "I can feel them, whispering." "Then listen," Nyoka replied quietly. "Not all whispers are meant to harm. Some guide." That night, Amara meditated. Her tails began to glow one by one until her body was surrounded by 7 auras. Then she heard it, a deep voice within her soul. "Beware the 8th tail." She opened her eyes sharply. 8th tail? There are only 7. But somewhere in the darkness, something stirred, something ancient, waiting to awaken. Chapter 15. The Betrayal. Days later, Professor Ikenna grew distant. He spent long hours locked in his study, poring over old scrolls. Amara noticed strange symbols drawn across his desk, dark marks she had never seen before. When she asked, he only said, "For your protection." But that night, Nyoka confronted him. "You are hiding something," she hissed. "Those runes, they belong to the Shadow Council." Ikenna's eyes glowed faintly silver. "I am trying to control what is coming. You wouldn't understand." Amara overheard their argument. Confusion filled her chest. The one man she trusted most, was he working against her? Before she could confront him, a sudden explosion tore through the safe house. Flames engulfed the walls. Ikenna vanished in the smoke, leaving only his notebook behind. Inside it, drawings of an 8th tale. Chapter 16. The 8th tale awakens. Amara escaped the fire with Nyoka, but her mind raced. The 8th tale. What is it? Nyoka's face was pale. It's forbidden. The 8th tale is not born of light. It's the tale of chaos. It manifests when the balance breaks. As if on cue, Amara's body trembled. Pain surged through her spine. A dark aura began to swirl around her. Her 7 tails glowed wildly. Then from the center of her back, something else began to form. A shadowy 8th tail, long and black as midnight, coiled into existence. The moment it appeared, the others dimmed, as if afraid. Nyoka backed away. "Amara, control it. Don't let it consume you." Amara screamed as visions flooded her mind. Wars, betrayals, 1,000 years of hidden history. Then, silence. When she opened her eyes, her reflection stared back at her, but her eyes glowed red and gold together. The 8th tale had bonded with her, and something deep inside her had changed. Chapter 17. A New Destiny. Morning came quietly over Lagos. Smoke still rose from the ruins of the safe house. Amara stood alone at the edge of the lagoon, her coat fluttering in the wind. The 8th tale swayed behind her, 7 glowing, 1 shadowed. She knew she could no longer run. Somewhere in the city, the Shadow Council gathered, and at their head, Professor Ikenna, his silver eyes now completely black. "It begins," he said softly. "The princess has awakened the 8th tale. Soon, she will belong to us." Chapter 18. Cliffhanger. As thunder rolled over the Atlantic, Amara raised her head, eyes burning with resolve. "I won't be your weapon," she whispered. "If the 8th tale is darkness, I'll be its light." Her tails fled, colors blending, red, blue, gold, green, silver, purple, white, and black, merging into a radiant storm of power. Lightning flashed across the Lagos skyline, illuminating her silhouette. The world had just witnessed the rise of something new. Not just a princess, a legend. To be continued.